Oh hey, what's going on? Alright, let's get real fucking philosophical up in here. Last video on this channel, the maker of the video was walking around, face about this close to the camera and all that, and was a bit concerned about, the quality of the actual video, the content, the quality of the content of the video. He was a bit concerned about, that. He said something like, maybe I shouldn't even upload this. Maybe it's not worthy of being uploaded if, because he felt that he thought it wasn't that great. I don't know why I'm talking about him like in the third person. Yeah, dude, you were a bit concerned about how that video turned out, and you said how it's more difficult than you thought making these videos. You wrote out a list, you're sticking to that list and all that shit, and all this and all that and all these things. So I would like to discuss all these things and more, and maybe less, maybe as little as none of it. Maybe I would just go as far as not going into the distance at all whatsoever, and I'll just simply start by saying, let's establish some strict rules on the quality of the videos on this channel. And I would like to begin that part of this video. Do you know? I thought I knew, and it took me a while, man. It took me a really long time to figure out that I actually don't know, and that's the huge problem. People think they know, and they walk around all their lives, and sometimes drive around, either maybe even ride around if they were riding a horse. Perhaps even a motorcycle, pretty much a horse, except the legs are spinning and there's just 2 instead of 4. Unless you count the spokes, then it's a bunch of fucking legs stuck into within a circular piece of metal and rubber wrapped around that. I'm describing these things because you probably don't know what a motorcycle looks like. I mean, you probably don't even know what a motorcycle is. That's why I'm describing it. So anyway, that's enough about motorcycles. Let's talk about what I was talking about. Let's stop deviating and go back to the main subject, which is, of course, the quality of the videos on this channel. Let's establish some strict rules about the quality of things on this channel. And this video is about that, basically. That's what this video is about. And of course, this video is also about everything I just said in the beginning of the video up till this very point, which is now. Which is not now, well, not now anymore, because it's gone. As you may know, the moment is here for a moment and for no longer. So that point I was talking about is now gone. So I hope you can understand these concepts. They are not as deep as you may think. Definitely not as deep as the ocean. It also depends on which part of the ocean you go to. You might end up just, on the beach of Florida, where the ocean is actually just as deep as any other fucking beach. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't have all the answers to these things, except for most. I have most, just not all. So whenever you catch me talking bullshit, not really making much sense, no real logic involved, when reason has escaped my skull, and I have admitted myself and subscribed to what's the word for that? Dumbness. Then I can resort to saying, well, it was part of those things. That this was, I guess that was one of those things that I don't really know. And who is what an owl says. And I would like to say to the owl, who, back to the owl. And that owl would probably stop responding, because it'd be like, this is a human being, what the fuck is it talking about? I don't even know what talking is. Why is he describing me talking? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I already told you that. Now moving on. Alright. I usually have these on in case I cough up some shit which hits the screen and bounces back into my eyes. I don't want it to hit my eyes when I'm clearing my throat like that. And if you did, in case you didn't know, I just explained Newton's law and Einstein's theory of general theory of relativity intertwined, how they work together. If they work together, I don't know. I'm not a scientist either, but I just explained both of those things while clearing my throat. See, I was talking with I call it the throat clearing language. There is a vast amount of different syllables and consonants and vowels that you can utter using language. And you know, the raising of the volume of that you know, you can go real quiet, such as in a church or a business meeting, or you can go real loud, like when you're trying to interrupt somebody in a political debate, and you know, like you don't agree with them, or you're trying to disrupt their speech. That's also very often possible to happen in a political debate, because people want to disrupt each other in a political debate, which brings me to my next point. For example, why would they want to disrupt each other in a political debate? Here's why they want to do that. Here's why. Well, shit, no, it's not here anymore. It's over there. Hold on, let me get it real quick. Okay, I got it back. Okay, now it's here. Here's why again. So the why, let me extract that shit and explain to you. Isn't it weird that people get offended by hair in their mouth, but they also get offended by the fact that somebody brings up a point which they don't agree with? It's like, you just said something, and I don't like that. Right? Why? Why don't you like that? I ask this question a lot, and people turn to me and say, don't fucking question me. Like, don't do that. That offends me too. It's like two things offend me. One, that you said that, and two, the fact that you're asking why it offends me, okay? Those are two things that offend me. You got a fucking communication paradox going on, alright? And I look at him and I say, wow, I thought you were too dumb to know what a paradox is. And then we try to move on with the subject. So people do that. They get offended by what other people say, right? And to them, I wonder to myself, well, how can you get offended by simple concepts and words that take place in somebody else's head? A head that is much identical to your head, or to the person's head. I'm just going to start saying you. I don't mean you personally, I just mean like you in general, as if you somehow existed generally across the populace of English-speaking people who understand this, and those who don't understand this, especially those who don't understand this. Okay. So people get offended by opinions. But how is that possible? I mean, let me ask you a question. How can you get offended by opinion? Are you looking to understand the world? Are you looking to understand truth? Is that what you're trying to do? Because if you're trying to understand truth, you are using a brain, right? A brain which every single other person has. Even retarded people have brains. Even people with Down syndrome have brains. Even, I don't know if retarded and Down syndrome are the same or not. Again, I'm also one of those people who are maybe retarded. I may be stupid. That's another condition of mine. I may be stupid. And please don't ever assume that I'm highly intelligent, because you might be disappointed, such as maybe in this video. Moving on. No, not moving on. Fuck that. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here and explain this to you guys. I'll move on when I'm done with this video. So how can you be offended by an opinion when you got a brain which we use to try to find truth? Because if you are looking for truth with the brain that you have, this sort of thing that looks out and observes things through the eyes and shit, not just the eyes, of course, you know, understand concepts, and you know the story. You know it. I know it. So let's just move on. We all have a brain. We use it in the same way, basically, for the most part. and we look to understand the world. We gather information, and then we process it, and we're like, okay, well, now that's what's going on. That's what's happening now, because I just looked at it, and now I understand it. And so we gather information that way. First of all, how can it be that so many people living really close to each other, I guess I'll just use America as an example because I live here, living next to each other, close to each other, they all look at the same fucking world. I don't even have to use America for this. I'll just use humanity. You got a bunch of people, they look out and see the same fucking world. Or no, I should say they look at the same world. They look at parts of the same world from their own angle. But I promise you, just because you look at a fucking car from this angle, and then you walk over to look at it from that angle, you're still gonna know, hey, that's a car. And the other person's gonna be like, yes, that is a car. Glad we could agree on that one. We will now not have to kill each other over that. Now obviously, when it comes to killing each other, it's more about things like, I don't believe in your God. I believe in my God. My God is better than yours. And the other person's like, fuck that! I don't believe in your God. I believe in my God. My God is like way awesomer than your God, whichever direction that son of a bitch resides. You know? So people kill each other over ideologies, the things that they try to say that is part or is in the same world that everybody lives in. How can we have such differing opinions? Well, we all have these things psychologists call schemas, mental maps of the world. This entails concepts. This entails everything you can think of that is representative of the world we all perceive. We all have this. That's how psychology works, except for those who don't. There's always exceptions as well. And there's always exceptions to the idea of there being always exceptions. There may not be exceptions. I don't know where I'm going with that, so I'm just going to continue the other way. If we're all digging for truth, why do we come up with different material? Why is it that we see different truths? Now, I have no problem with that because we all sort of bear emotions and we all sort of prone to confirmation bias. We want the world to be this way, and instead of being able to change it to that, or being willing to change it to that, or knowing what to do, or caring, or putting the effort in, whatever you want to call it, to changing it, we reside to say, oh, it's okay because it's already that way. It's already that way. So we, instead of adjusting the world out there, we adjust the world in here. We adjust the map of the world, which means nothing changes in the outside world. Just because you say there is something in the world does not make it so. What makes it so is that there is something in the world, or there is not. So we are prone to confirmation bias. We are prone to just change how we look at the world. We change how we see the world. Isn't that fucking crazy? That was the first F-bomb in this video now that I think about it. I don't know if it's the last one or not. I'll try to make it the last one, just for the hell of it. Let me think. No, like, seriously, let me think. Okay, I got it back. I realized I shouldn't be taking so much time thinking because it might bore you people. I haven't really gotten further in my thinking, but since I only have like 45 seconds left, I'll try to wrap this shit up. So, this is what you can expect on this channel. Alright? Real professionalism. But anyway, to wrap that point up, because I had to embed some sort of philosophical idea in here. We all see the world differently. Isn't this fucking crazy? Like, dude, if there's one truth, why are we clinging to our own truths? Why don't we just look at the world and feel like, that's obviously, evidently that way, and that is obviously not. Well, we all deal with a lot of pain and a lot of happiness, so we're prone to bend things a little bit. I thought it was gonna be over. Looks like I'm going over 15. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just about the most professional piece of work I have ever done, including, yes, that too, and this, and those things, and yeah. So this last thing I wanted to bring up is the reflection in my seeing eyeglasses of the screen. So you can actually see my hand in that reflection, like it's right there. See, right there. It's a paradox. I'm pointing at the image of pointing. If you can see that. If not, that's fine. You will not be required yet to take a test on this. I am only requiring you to remember the fact that we went over it. This will be all for today. Until next time, have a good night, people.